Hello, and welcome to the first lesson in our course, Travel Writing That Takes You Places. I am really excited about teaching this course. Travel writing is something that is very close to my heart. It's one of my favorite kinds of writing. I actually didn't start out as a travel writer. My master's degree is in fiction writing, and Simon & Schuster actually just published my first novel called Beauty of the Broken, and I've also published many poems and a book of poems, but I sort of accidentally fell into travel writing. I had won a contest at a writers' conference, and Thomas Swick, who was the editor of the travel section of Fort Lauderdale Sun-Sentinel, approached me at the banquet for the prize that I had won, and he asked me if I would be interested in trying writing travel for him, and I said, well, I'm not really a travel writer. All I do is write fiction. And he gave me probably the best piece of travel writing advice I've ever gotten at that moment. And he said, well, then that's perfect, because travel writing is just like writing fiction. It's just that the place is the main character in your story. And as he started to talk to me about travel writing and telling me that you bring the characters that you meet when you're traveling to life, and you use dialogue and you use setting, and you talk about these larger themes of what it means to be human when you're writing travel, I became really enchanted with the idea of trying travel writing. So I did, and he published my first piece, and then I started publishing other pieces of travel writing from there. And one of my pieces was actually published in Best Travel Writing 2010, and we're going to go through that piece in this course, in this lesson, just hopefully so I can help you to come to your own sort of exploration and process. I'd like to show you the process that I went through in writing that, and maybe you can replicate or at least find your own process that'll lead you to writing a piece that means a lot to you and hopefully will mean a lot to the rest of the world as well. One of the things most people don't know about travel writing is most travel writing magazines and journals and publications that publish travel are not looking for a typical travel piece about, oh, I went and saw the perfect blue waters of the ocean and there were sweeping vistas, and it's just this fluff piece with no heart. Because everything has been written about. We live in a world that is saturated with media, so there's no place that I can't read about. If I want to look up what it's like to go to the Bahamas, I run a Google search and I can get all the information I want. So travel pieces are not just about information anymore. They're about the specific things that meant something to you as you traveled, and the things that you learned that were not just about that particular place, but about yourself and about what it means to be human and what it means to live while you were traveling. So that's sort of the travel writing that we're going to explore. We're going to explore the kind of travel writing that you begin a journey in a certain place, and by the time you finish that journey, you're kind of a different person because of what you experienced there, and we're going to try to replicate that process as we write so that our readers are changed through reading our travel pieces. So today we are going to start a lesson called Let Us Begin With ... because that was the way I started writing that piece that eventually won the award. I was in a place called San Miguel de Allende, and there's no way I can write everything about San Miguel de Allende in one travel piece. It's going to be messy. It's not going to be interesting. I have to find the one thing that meant something to me. So I sat down to write this piece, and I wrote the words, let us begin with ... And I waited for something to pop into my mind, and what popped into my mind was the word death, because San Miguel de Allende is a place that celebrates death. They have a big Dia de los Muertos, the Mexican Day of the Dead celebration there. And I had just also lost a friend, so death was everywhere when I was in San Miguel de Allende. That's what it was about for me. Other people wrote pieces about the for sale signs and windows. Some people wrote pieces about the gorgeous doors on the houses. Those were the things that stood out to them. But for me, the one thing I picked was death. So I want you, as you're setting out to write your first travel piece, to think about not just writing a piece that